All right, okay, maybe we can start. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday morning and a warm welcome to our sharing session. So this is Ketana here from Gen Lab Collective. So we are actually a ground-up initiative where we seek to empower our seniors to share their valuable skills, knowledge, and experiences with the larger community. So we have Vasanthi with us over here today who will be sharing more about her experiences in befriending seniors and simple tips to initiate conversations with seniors. So hi Vasanthi, thank you so much for joining us. All right, when you're comfortable, would you like to share more about yourself and what you hope to share with us today, just to start off?
Okay, hi everyone. Very good morning to all of you. I'm Madam Vasanthi here. Currently, I'm a housewife. I used to work with National Institute of Education for quite a number of years. And now I'm at home and doing some simple things like home gardening and all that. This gardening and some other things like, spending a good time with my grandchildren and all that. That's introduction for myself. All right.
All right, thank you so much, Vasanthi. So you guys may be wondering, what is Sharing Circles about? So at Sharing Circles, we actually hope to provide a platform for seniors to share their knowledge and experiences via live sharing sessions where conversations are initiated. So we don't just want to limit our senior sharers to be the only ones speaking during the session, but we also like to provide opportunities for participants in the session like you guys to also exchange your knowledge, experiences with our senior sharers, or also ask questions if you are keen. So for today's segment, we will be actually starting off with a quick icebreaker segment just to warm you guys up, followed by sharing by our senior sharer, and then followed by an open sharing segment where we'll be inviting all of you to share your own experiences or ask any questions on this topic of befriending seniors, or if you would simply like to hear more tips from Vasanthi before ending off with some next steps where we can follow up with you. And just some friendly reminders for our sharing sessions. So please kindly turn off your mic when you are not speaking. And also we'll encourage all of you to turn on the video if you can. We would like to see all of you. And you can use the chat box for questions and reactions. You can type +1 into the chat box if you have questions, and we will call you during the open sharing segment. Alternatively, if you're very shy, you can also type your questions directly into the chat box. So other reactions, you may feel free to either clap, thumbs up, or also even raise your hand. All right. Okay, so before we start, we would like to know a little more about all of you. So could we just ask your help to go to www.menti.com and actually key in this code, which you can actually see on the screen. So the code is 29987088. So I'll be typing it in the chat as well. Right, 29987088. Okay, so I'll be just going on to share this. Okay, so the first question that we have for you is, I interact with seniors regularly or my work requires me to do so. Yeah, if you guys have any issues logging into menti.com, y'all can let me know. Okay, so go to www.menti.com and enter in the code 29987088. All right. Okay, we already got about 7 responses, still waiting for a few more. So we just want to understand among you guys, how many of you usually interact with seniors or your work actually requires you to do so. All right, a few of you interact with seniors regularly or your work requires you to do so. Okay, some with disagree. Okay, we're just waiting for a few more. Okay, so mainly is actually disagree. All right, but thanks still for joining us. We guess that we would still like to learn more about how to interact with seniors. All right, let's just wait for a minute more. So once again, for those who have joined us, please go to www.menti.com. So we just have a simple exercise for all of you, and you can enter the code 29987088 when prompted. All right, so most of you so far from those who have actually shared, actually you do not really interact with seniors that much, or your work requires you to do so, but we are still heartened to hear that you're still here today to actually learn from Vasanthi about her experiences. All right, without further delay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so this is, if you see on your screen, what are the top 3 challenges you face in interacting with seniors? So you may not be directly working with them, but generally, let's say if you were to interact with seniors, these are some challenges that you will actually foresee. So could we ask your help? So when you see on your screen on menti.com, you will see you can enter up to 3 challenges. So could you enter into those fields, and then we will actually see what you guys enter here real time. For those who have difficulty going to menti.com, you may also share some of the challenges you experience in the chat box. All right. Okay, so we are starting to see language seems to be a common issue. Awkwardness. All right, maybe Auntie Vasanthi can also take note of some of these, then we can discuss more about that later as well. Okay. I would also take a picture once you guys are done. All right, language seems to be the main one. Yeah, different wavelength, fear of being nagged at. Introverted, no topics beyond food. Okay, maybe Auntie Vasanthi can actually maybe share more later when we discuss. Silence, differences in beliefs, technology, lack of topics to talk. All right.
I think all this we will slowly cover as we go along.
Yes, that's right. Okay, there's more coming up. All right, maybe I'll just wait a while. All right, since I understand just some of us have just joined us. Fear with people. Okay, so language, different wavelength, unfriendly, introverted, stubborn or angry seniors, limited topics, interest, generation gap. Okay, sorry, I'll just take a quick picture and we can actually come to this again. All right, thank you everyone so much for sharing. It's quite insightful to hear about some of the challenges that you guys actually face, and we hope to actually address some of this as we speak about them during the open sharing segment as well. All right, so meanwhile, let's go get into our session proper. Okay, all right, sorry. Yep. So I'd actually like to invite Vasanthi to share more about her experiences. So how we would do this is I'll be asking some commonly asked questions to Vasanthi to actually facilitate this session. And along the way, if any of you have any other questions to ask or experiences to share, do type into the chat box and we will invite you to share later. All right. So Vasanthi, thank you so much once again for being willing to share more about this topic. So to start off with, could I ask, why is initiating conversations with seniors important? Like, why should we even bother to approach seniors in the first place?
Okay, you see now in Singapore, the aging population, there are lots of seniors. You can see them sitting at the void decks, in the coffee shop, mostly at the void decks, the parks, everywhere they are sitting lonely. They are very, very lonely. Nobody to talk to, busy. People in the household, they are very busy that they don't have time to talk to them. So I think it's very, very important that you initiate conversation with seniors around you, in your family, in your friend circle, wherever you see them. I mean, you're just going to give them a listening ear and see what they have to. Simple hello, a smile, a beautiful smile. A smile can really attract them because that's what they need. They need somebody to talk to them and give them the listening ear. So it's very important because we have seniors in our own family, in our circle, in the market, and everywhere they are sitting down. I've seen seniors sitting down very lonely under trees and all that. So I think it's a very important topic and important to communicate with them. We will move on. As we move on, there are simple tricks which you can follow, which I have experienced to communicate with them. Yeah.
All right,
So
thank you so much for sharing. So, given that you actually mentioned about your experiences, would you like to briefly share about some of your experiences in befriending seniors, or maybe some of your success stories where you do not know these seniors before and you have not met them before? They are actually complete strangers to you, but how did you manage to overcome these barriers and manage to become very good friends with them? Yeah.
all right, yeah. Actually, I have a very interesting topic to talk today, and it's not a story, it's an experience. It's a beautiful experience. I don't even know this Mr. Lim. He's a senior. He's about 83 years old. He was sitting at a corner, and I happened to be there doing some demonstration to my friend about some products. And he would look at me, he was looking at me. After that, he approached me. And the important thing to note here is he can't speak. He went through an operation in his throat for cancer, and he lost his speech. So he was using his gestures. So I was trying to find out what he's trying to tell me. I did manage to listen to what he's trying to tell me, his hand gesture, his eyes, and some little bit of sound coming from his throat. So after that, I happen to every day we meet, the two of us meet for coffee. I make my time for him, and we will meet at the kopitiam to have coffee and talk about simple things. He was a taxi driver. He was driving for many years until he was struck by cancer and all that. He was talking to me about his family, his day with his son. So we continued our friendship this way. And there are days when I am very late, or I'm not at the kopitiam. He used to call me, and I can immediately recognize his voice, and I will make my way to the kopitiam to meet him. We will only sit there for about 1 hour or so, because after that he will go for lunch and all that. After that, seeing us, another Malay auntie, I can't remember her name, she joined us. She was 82 years old. So it was like a family gathering, a small group of us. And we just sit there drinking coffee and talking about kampung time, about food. You know, I feel that we should talk about happy things, happy moments, instead of talking about the sickness or bad times. So that keep the conversation going on. So every day I meet them. There were days when I cooked for them chicken curry, and we brought French loaf and we ate, and they were so happy. You can see their smile. When you see them smiling, when you see a senior smiling, you'll be very happy. Believe me, there is a kind of content in your heart. That's one of my story. And I have aunties who call me. All my seniors are around the age of 80 and above. They used to call me just to talk to me, or ask me to go over to their house. For nothing, just sit there for about 10 to 20 minutes and talk to them, and you leave after that. This is how I get my experience talking to seniors. Even in my own blog, I have a 90-year-old auntie, and she loves to talk to me. Not only loves to talk to me, she wants to visit me most of the time, and I go and visit her quite a couple of times. And because of COVID, everything is a bit quiet now, but I still call her. If I don't call her, she will call me, just to talk their heart out, how they were during. We have to remember, being a senior, the senses are also, they will be losing some of the senses, not so good like youth, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, all that will be affected. So we have to keep all this in mind when we are talking to them. Yeah. Thanks, Kitana.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right.
For actually sharing. In fact, it's not a very easy task to actually, befriend seniors and get to know them short everything. It takes rapport, it takes a lot of time. So moving forward, we also have some questions on how exactly, some tips on how to initiate conversations, like some simple tips?
Okay. Okay. The first thing is when you see a senior, you have to smile. You have to give them the smile to tell them that you are friendly, and you wait for your response. See what kind of response you get from them. There are difficult seniors also. Like you all were talking about language, there will be language barrier, but you have your gestures, hand gestures, simple common language. In Malay, kopi, everybody understand kopi. Kopi means it's coffee, right? Or you want coffee? If you don't know how to speak in Malay, Mandarin, or Tamil, you just say coffee. Hand gesture also is important to initiate a conversation with them. But there are seniors who don't really immediately befriend you. They will take quite some time. You don't move away from them. Give them the time. Slowly they will interact to you. They will tell you about some of them, they will talk about their pain, the sorrow, nobody to talk. I have seen many, the main cause is nobody to talk to. Nobody give them the listening ear. It's not going to take very long, maybe 5-10 minutes. Just sit with them. They'll be very happy for the whole day, right? Simple tips like, hello, how are you? What are you doing here? You come here every day? Auntie, you come here every day? Yeah. How's the day today? Today, like going to rain, huh? All these initiate simple things. Don't make the conversation complicated. Simple conversation. Very simple conversation. You have to keep in mind that they are seniors. And when you start speaking to them, you might get tips on what they like. Then you can focus on that to continue the conversation, right?
All right. So now that you actually mentioned about continue conversations, would you like to share some tips about how exactly do we continue conversations? Especially, I think just now in the Mentimeter also, when both the youth and our seniors actually shared, they said sometimes lack of topics is actually one issue.
Okay, you can continue your conversation based on what they like. Like I can give you examples of Mr. Lim. Mr. Lim's lack of communication with people. People see him with something in his throat. They don't even approach him. They just bypass him and walk away. They don't. Sometimes I've seen him. He's trying to communicate with them, but they don't give their attention because they think that they're wasting their time. He can't talk. That is wrong. Very wrong. But I gave him the time. I gave him the attention. So he started talking to me. Nothing much. Simple, like drinking coffee. He told me he stay with his son and he mopped the house. Simple thing like this, he communicated. Every morning he say mop the house before he come. He wash the clothes before he come to the kopitiam. Then after coffee, he will go back for lunch. And then he will come one more round in the evening. But I spend most of the time in the morning. How I continue is very important is to give the attention to them. Then you see what kind of topic they are talking, then you have to continue from there. Like, uncle, today want to minum coffee. Sometimes he will buy coffee for me, sometimes I buy, Sometimes we talk about children, he talk about his children, Just listen. If you can't answer, just listen. Oh, okay, uncle. Yeah, good. If there are good tips, they're good. You know that. So you can just continue. Then you can say, tomorrow I see you. I'm happy I talked to you today. Tomorrow you want to come for coffee again? I see you at 9 o'clock. Hand. You see now also my hand gestures, it goes on. Your hand gestures is very important. Your eye contact with them. Eye contact. When he's talking, you don't grace here and there. That means you're not paying attention to him. So eye contact very important, and giving them the listening ear can give you a continued relationship. Yeah.
Thanks, Auntie, for sharing. So now actually, I think you mentioned about eye contact and active
Yes.
listening. just wanted to ask, in view of the current COVID pandemic, where we are not able to meet seniors face to face or interact with them directly, maybe some of our interactions maybe might be over WhatsApp video or maybe just phone calls, especially
Yeah,
seniors
right.
who are not able to come over Zoom and perhaps even get to see them over Zoom. So what would be some of your advice or tips be if we were to maybe speak to them over calls or just a phone call, for example?
Phone call is very good because most of the senior, I don't know how many seniors can go into Zoom and connect with you, or WhatsApp and all that. But a simple phone call every day for 5 minutes, no need every day also. Every other day or 1 week, 2 times, you call them, say hello, how are you? Have you eaten? What are you doing? Have you watched news today? This thing happened. Do you know about that? Make the conversation interesting, something common to talk about. And you have, with COVID situation, everybody is at home. And I think I still would like to stress this point that people around you at home, your family, your auntie, your uncle, your grandparents, I'm sure all of you have some seniors at home. So try to communicate with them. Keep them wanted. Don't make them feel that they are useless. Keep them wanted. That means they have gone through a lot, and the knowledge they have, you'll be surprised when you start talking to them, right? So for COVID, I think phone call is the best for the current situation. You give them a call and speak to them. But they eaten what? Simple things. How are you today? But don't make like, your tone of voice must be happy. Yeah? Maybe the other side, they are already like so sad, nobody talk to them. So when you call them, like I will disturb the 90-year-old auntie. When I call her, I will call her name. I say, hello, Nilambal, how are you today? That will already spark. She will start laughing, something like that. So I leave it to you also how, because you also need to, I see what is the reaction, how they approach you. That is also important. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Auntie, for
Right.
sharing. Yeah, I'm sure some of you may have questions, and we have already seen some questions in the chat box. So maybe we
Right.
will address them later during our open sharing segment where we can discuss in greater detail. All right. So just to move on. So now we have talked about initiating conversations and maybe how to continue conversation. So the next common question that we all have is, how do we politely end conversations with seniors, especially if they keep going, seeming to go on, and there seems like there's no end coming soon to the topic
Yeah.
or conversation, and maybe sometimes we need to excuse ourselves or go off, but sometimes we might feel very bad to do that. So would you like to share some tips as well on how we can
Okay.
actually say, hello auntie, sorry, I need to go off, something like that?
Yeah. You see, as seniors, even sometimes with it, myself also, we tend to keep on repeating and, go on and on with the conversation. Okay, very, very simple. You just have to tell them politely, auntie, very nice to have coffee with you today. Can we meet again tomorrow? That should spark something to say that I have to go. If not, you can say, auntie, I have a meeting. So today I'll go for the meeting. Tomorrow I come and see you again, okay? Then we can have coffee, right? You take care of yourself. And I have to tell you that I was very happy talking to you. Yeah, you got a lot of things to tell me. We can share more tomorrow. So I see you tomorrow for coffee. You can end that way. And that should be the way to end a conversation. You don't end abruptly or you just walk away or is a very rude. You also have to see whether this person want to continue the friendship with you or conversation with you. If the senior want to continue, I'm sure there are some points you can take note of. Like they also can reply you. They say, I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I see you here. Oh, this type of thing. Then you can stop and you say, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. No? like that. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. So in addition to what Auntie Vasanthi has also shared, GenLab has also compiled some pointers also after discussing with Vasanthi. So for example, let's say if you're wondering how do you end conversations, or let's say you feel very paiseh to, just walk off. So maybe you can share some simple sentences like, thanks for the sharing, it was great talking to you, or I wish I had more time to spend with you or listen to you, but I got to run. We can have plans to have lunch soon. And perhaps also reaffirm and reassure them that, hey, actually I felt very good speaking to you and it was not at all time wasted, and you really look forward to speaking with them soon again. Or you can also share like, about how you enjoyed their conversation. So, but just to take note, just be careful with your words and always adopt a more light-hearted tone. So you do not need to be very serious and all that. So just be very light-hearted. Now, I think Auntie Vasanthi, you also shared about some tips with us that we can take care of seniors during the COVID pandemic. So would you like to share a bit more on that?
Yes, yeah. I have, I want to share about taking care of your health. As seniors, our immunity will be low, very low. So I suggest that taking very good vitamin C will help you to boost your immunity. Yeah, this is one of the vitamins which I am also taking. It will boost not only your immunity, it boosts your muscles and your internal organs and all that. As seniors, as we grow older, I think health is a great challenge, a great challenge to us. No matter how healthy you are, but after you reach a certain age, you will go downfall. So keeping yourself healthy is very important. And I'm not doing any sales on this product, but I'm using this product, and I would like to share with everyone who needs the immunity to boost up. So this is one good product, because this vitamin C, usually the vitamin C in the market, once you take, the extra will be passed up. The body absorbs the vitamin C, the extra will be passed up in your urine. But this extended vitamin C, it stays in your body for 24 hours, releasing small amount, so you can have maximum use of the vitamin C. And I have introduced this to many people for sinus, for skin, for eye, for internal organ health. So do consider to take charge of the seniors' health too. Plus some simple exercises also, right? Simple exercises like stretching, as seniors, the movement will be restricted. So you have to stretch a lot, do a lot of stretching up, down and all that, which I also do when I wake up in the morning. So all this should let you grow gracefully, age gracefully. Yeah, I think it's important. It's very important. Yes, Chitana?
All right, thank you so much, Auntie, for the insightful and in-depth sharing. Really appreciate it.
Right.
Okay, so now it's just time for our open sharing segment. So we just want to put aside some time for all of you guys. If you would like to share your experiences with seniors that you have so far, if any, of course, it's not compulsory, but we would definitely like to hear from all of you. And let's say if there are any challenges that you have been facing currently, or you're just generally interested to find out more about how to befriend seniors. So if any questions that you have, you can type in the chat with +1 if you want to ask Auntie Vasanthi directly, and we will actually call on you to share. Of course, it would be better if you can like unmute yourself and share openly, as we would like to also hear directly from you. So alternatively, if you are very shy, you can also type your question in the chat otherwise. All right, so this is a segment where we actually like to hear more from all of you as well, and also an opportunity for you guys to ask more questions and more in-depth questions, because with currently what we have done is Auntie Vasanthi has done a broad and in-depth sharing, but you have specific questions on maybe some of your volunteering work. For example, let's say you're working with seniors and you would like to have some tips, you can also ask during this time period as well. All right, so we have actually one question from Prof. Tang, thank you so much. So the question is, now with mask on, what are some new ways to initiate conversations? So let's say now we are all with our mask on. Sometimes you're not able to see the expressions of seniors, or perhaps that's actually a barrier. So Auntie Vasanthi, just want to ask, like, what could be some new ways to initiate conversations in this new normal period?
Use your gestures, right? You want me to answer that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear
Use
from
your
you.
gestures, your hand gestures, your eye contact. Already I told you, your eye contact is very important. Your eyes will tell you lots of things. So your eyes, your hand gestures, and some speech, because with the mask, not so clear, right? It should, with gestures, I think we should be able to communicate with them. Definitely we cannot touch lah. Now we cannot touch, right? So it's your hand gesture. I think hand gestures very important one. There are lots of hand gestures which you can, like, how are you? Good, it's thumbs up, it's good. All this can be applied. So not necessary with COVID and with the mask that we can't communicate. We still can communicate with them.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I thought it was really useful. Yeah. All right. Wei Jie, would you like to ask something?
Yes, hello, Katana. Hello, Auntie Vasanthi. I'm Jay. Thank you for sharing. I have
hope
one.
you repeated.
Yeah. Sorry, my personal laptop is half broken, so cannot really see my face. But I want to ask you a question that I think appear in the mentee as well, and also my personal, like, also I have some met this problem before, like when talking with some seniors, right, then it's sometimes it's very easy to go into topics that maybe we will disagree with their opinions.
All right.
Do you have any, let's say for example, let's say our marriage lah, or politics or whatever, do you have any tips for us on how to, how can we either avoid or like or not get into a argument with the seniors when it comes to these if it happens to enter into this areas,
these two topics lah. I don't understand why you have to go into this topic. Talk to them about happy things. You don't really have to go into such a serious topics. You have, unless you're talking about people in your own family. Is that so?
Yeah, it means no, sometimes, like, I don't know how we end up, like, it first supposed to be a happy sharing, and then somehow we end up to become like some, like, I don't know, maybe sometimes the senior will steer the conversation to
okay, as a youth, I think as a youth you should hold the patience, have the patience, and always keep in mind that they are seniors. They have a lot of experience. They have gone through a lot of experience. So you can also, like, give them the respect to share first. And then slowly you can talk to them about your opinion on this. Yeah. But first, I think you should let them share, or give them the respect and listen first. Listen first what they have to say. Then what they are telling you, then you can put in your points in a very polite way. Your tone here, your tone is very important. The speech, the words, very important. What kind of words you're choosing to speak to them, and your tone of voice. It cannot be like commanding. Should be on the low profile side. Do you think this will work? You want to try?
Yeah, I think you raise a good point, like the listen first before
listen. Seniors like people to listen to them because they think they're seniors. The word senior, they think that they know a lot. It's true. They feel that they have gone through so many years, they know everything. So give them the time, then slowly talk things out to them. I think it should work out that way. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie Vasanthi. This is a very good tip for me.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thanks, Wei Jie, for the question. I think maybe a lot of your side relatives have been pressuring you to get married, it sounds like, from your questions. Yeah, but this seems like a common issue, maybe as also for youth, especially as you're growing up, maybe when you meet your uncle, auntie, grandpa, granddad, oh, why do you keep studying? Or why do you keep working? When's your next stage? So thanks for the question. All right. So we have another question from Sean. Thanks, Sean, for the question. Would you like to unmute yourself and share directly and ask Vasanthi, or do you prefer that I read it out?
Okay, I can ask. So my
Hello.
question is, I think in
Hi,
Singapore.
Sean.
Hello, hi. So
Hey.
my question is more towards, Singapore is a aging population, as we all know.
Right.
So I think we are not. I don't think those that goes to the coffee shop is those that we are super concerned. It's actually those that stays at home and never come out for 10 years. I think those are even more lonely. So
Very
my question
lonely.
is more towards to even like for my parents want to know is that does seniors actually wants to go out, or do they open to doing like joint activities, like bring them offsite, or even there is if they are being reskilled, are they open to even making money from some of the activities, or they really just prefer to stay at home?
So your exact question is whether
So,
the seniors prefer to stay at home.
Yeah, or do they open to going out or do activities with people, maybe even charitable activities, or even have some to reskill to even make money for some of them, or most of them really just prefer to stay at home?
Yeah, Sean, you have to first consider whether the mobility, their senses are all good. I'm sure when you are able to walk properly, hear properly, see properly, no senior want to stay at home. They will definitely want to go out and join the others, like, go for some simple exercises like Chico, all that, which is very slow movement. But if they plan to stay at home, you must find out the reason why they don't want to go out and join the others or have a new skill development. Like for me, you see, I am actually I'm wheelchair bound. I'm wheelchair bound, no, but I don't care. I still want to make myself important. I'm also in the aging population now. So I want to, I don't want to stay at home and rot and lose my senses. I want to do something. You have to imply this to the people who are at home, your parents or who. So that's why, again, I have to stress this point. People at home are the ones who should start initiating conversation with the seniors. Give them the extra time to and find out why they don't want to go out. There must be a reason, right? Do you think I have answered your question, Sean?
Yeah, I think you brought up a very good point. I think the idea is to start with encouraging them to make them feel important.
It feel important is very important for seniors, because as you age, Sean, definitely the hearing sense will be lesser. The eyesight will be lesser, and the mobility, maybe walking, maybe wobbly, or not so steady, joint pain, and all that. This could be the reasons why they are afraid to go out. But once you give them the courage,
okay, that's good. Yeah.
Hi, then boost their confidence. They should be able to go out and join the others and do whatever they want. Start there at home. See what is their problem first. Sit down and talk to them. Why do you want to go out? Sit down, go out, or go out with them, together with them for a few sessions. After that, they'll be on their own already. Right? Is that good, Sean?
Yes, thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Sean, for your question. Okay, we have another question from Faith. Faith, would you like to directly share and unmute yourself?
Hello. So
Hi,
I was
Faith.
wondering, how do we
Yeah.
get past a language barrier? Like if you
Language.
chat over the phone, you cannot really see each other's gestures also.
This is a tough question. Language barrier. Okay, in Singapore, what are the 4 main basic languages? English, Mandarin, Tamil, and Malay. But our national language is Malay. So I'm sure the seniors, as seniors, they would have some knowledge of Malay. So you can try and find out what they can talk. You know, you can, Auntie, can I talk in Malay? Do you understand? Or you talk in Tamil? But language barrier, over COVID time, you cannot use your gestures, right? It's a bit tough, lah. I would say it's a bit tough, but still can be overcome. Find out the language they can, or you can get some help from your friends and talk to the language, talk to them in the language they know, you can interpret. Then when you have time, you go and meet them. That will be good. You think that will be good? That's a good idea. You can get your friends who can talk in that language. And because it's over the phone, right? You can ask your friends to help you to talk to them, interpret. Well, is that good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, thanks, Faith, for the question. I think this issue is also real, especially when maybe some seniors, like, they know dialects, or maybe like even Singaporean youths, they are not familiar with dialects as well.
Yeah, true. So we definitely have to find out what they can speak before you want to converse over the phone. If you can't, then just get some help from people around. That's what happens also, right? If it's Chinese speaking, then you better, I'm an Indian, I cannot speak, so I get my friend to help me with certain questions. Yeah.
Right, thank you for sharing. There are always ways to work around. So it's also about whether maybe how much you also want to speak with the senior, or if you, let's say, if you can also tap on your networks or contact, also help you in this process. All right. Okay, I think Chris also shared some points about, unless you're very familiar with the other party, avoid talking about politics, race, and religion.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
That was a serious topic.
And Eunice, thank you. Empathy, listen without judging, and no need to enter in a debate. Thank you. I think that's also a good advice.
Very good point. No debate. This is simple talking. Why should we end up with a debate with a senior? Right. Actually, we want to give them the attention only. No need to debate. Very good point.
Right. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay, it doesn't need to be used as well. Also for the other adults or even seniors in the room, please feel free to share. Or if you also like to share your experiences, or even in terms of if you think it's difficult to share with youths like us, also maybe you can share. So meanwhile, I just have a few more questions to also ask Auntie Vasanthi, which also actually rose up when we were actually calling for interest for this session. So one question was, how can we ensure we give seniors dignity when befriending them? Is dignity important?
Very, very important. You have to give the dignity to this person, because if not, the conversation won't last long. If if they don't feel it that way, I think the conversation will not prolong, and they won't talk to you again. I think it's very, very important.
All right. Okay, Chris actually mentioned how many young people in this group. If there are sufficient numbers, then I'll share. Yes, hi Chris. I think there are quite a number of young people in this room, including myself. Yeah, so would you like to share some of your tips or experiences as well? You can unmute yourself, and it'd be good if you could also show your video.
All right.
Hi, good morning to all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you able to switch on your video?
I prefer privacy if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Sure, no problem.
But I'm a pioneer, so obviously a senior, already in my mid-70s. I have lived in and out of Singapore for quite a number of years, practically traveled around the world, and I have engaged young people to old people and those who are in the dumps as well as billionaires because of the nature of my job. And I will tell you that it is innately in all human beings to be able to relate to another person. So sometimes when you are determined with empathy to engage somebody, all you need to do is go with the right attitude and heart, and your body language, your eyes, your hand gestures, your tone of voice, your language, all this will resonate. And that's how you communicate with people.
Correct.
So when you communicate with people, all you do is use your good old-fashioned common sense and use all the resources that you have. Seriously, you can actually communicate with somebody just through the eyes alone, without even speaking a word.
Very true, very true.
And this is how young people should understand that all of you have this ability as a human being to do that. All you need to do is just go in with the right attitude and the right heart, and along the way you will learn what the seniors are, whether they are weak, they are strong, their inclination, their language abilities. All things, as you progress communicating with them, you will learn. And that's how I've been doing it for the last 70 over years of my life. And I said, I have actually dealt with human beings from the top of the echelons to the lowest of the echelons. So this is how it is. You have to trust and have faith in your own self as a human being. Your innate ability in you is there. That's how you communicate with people. You don't really need a set of rules and regulations to say how you should do it. You trust your common sense, use all your senses, and after a while, you will learn how to adjust. Like why the person don't want to talk to you in the first place, or why the person choose to talk about something which is very angry. As you carry on a conversation with the person, you will understand how that comes about. So the young people must understand that they must have the faith in themselves first as a human being to relate with other people. You really don't need a set of rules. All you know is just good old-fashioned human being characteristics, your EQ, for instance. I hope it makes sense to you, to the younger people, especially to the younger people. Because I notice the younger people tend to ask specific questions about this and that. Actually, these are all really very common sense. Sorry,
Right.
Thank
Oh,
you.
no worries. Thank you for sharing.
I hope I didn't bore anybody with all my questions.
No
Some good
worries.
pointers
I was
there.
just looking at Auntie Vasanthi. Do you have anything to add or agree with what Chris
I agree.
is sharing?
You see, he's also covering on topics like eye contact, gestures, which is very important when you communicate. Not necessarily seniors, any kind of communication, we have to have direct eye contact. When somebody is talking to you, you look away. They will feel that, oh, that person is not interested in talking to me or not listening. Especially to youths, I think this is a very key point to take note. All your eye contact, your gestures, your tone of voice, very, very important. If you sincerely want to talk to a senior, you should consider all this before you start a conversation with them, right? Make them feel wanted. Give the listening ear, then they also, after that, you see how they open up to you, right? Yeah, I think very interesting points.
Yeah, very wise and also good pointers for
Good pointers,
Gen
yes.
Lab team to also learn from, since we are also working very closely with seniors.
Kirtana, at this point, I would like to, I'm so happy that quite a number of youths are attending this sharing session. I am very happy because the interest is there to communicate. So next time when you see auntie sitting or uncle sitting alone, you can just go and sit a little bit far, 100 meters away. Then so that day also I met one auntie, Chinese auntie. She was sitting under the tree. I say, why auntie you're sitting here? Say, nobody at home. Nobody talked to. So I talked to her a little while. Then the next day also I saw her there. So I continue my conversation, simple conversation, to make that person happy, to make that senior happy. It's you will feel wonderful after that. You have a very wonderful feeling when you are able to communicate with the senior, right?
Right. Thank you so much, Auntie Vasanthi, for sharing, and also Chris for the insightful sharing. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Eunice, thank you so much. Yes, kudos to all the young people here. Shows your interest and enthusiasm to learn how to communicate with us seniors. Good to hear that. Thank you so much. Yes, I think we have about 5 minutes before we actually just end up and wrap up this session and some next steps. So does anyone else have any questions or anything else to ask?
Please feel free to if I can answer, I'll answer. Whoever can answer, we'll just answer.
Yeah,
There
I
is
know.
no right or wrong answers. It's all the experience. Yeah, so feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, some of you may also be working with seniors or also have experiences in volunteering work with seniors as well. So if you all would also like to share your own experiences, also feel free to do so. So just wait a while. Right, okay, maybe I'll just move on as you guys slowly think about the questions, or if you all want to ask anything, maybe after the session in case you're feeling a bit shy. So in case moving forward, you're wondering like how you can share your skills and knowledge for seniors who are in the room, or you want to continue to work further with Vasanthi or continue to learn from her. So for those who might continue learning from Vasanthi, we are actually looking at co-creating a conversations guide for how we can actually approach seniors or facilitate conversations with seniors. So we are looking to do this with Vasanthi through our sandbox program, and we also like to invite a few other seniors and also youths to also join us in the process of co-creating this conversations guide, because we feel that we should represent the perspectives of both youths and seniors and also middle-aged adults where and if possible, so to present a more holistic perspective. So if you are interested, you can let me know. I'll also share the link later for the sign up form, and you can indicate your interest in there. And also if you are keen in subsequent sharing sessions to be organized on more focused topics, like for example, how can we strike conversations on specific topics with seniors. Let's say if you want to know more about the kampong times or the kampong lives of seniors, then we can do a more in-depth focus session on that with Vasanthi as well. And also maybe we can do some role plays as well. Let's say maybe a senior and a youth, how do we communicate, how do you handle some challenges? So just now, as we also talk about some tips and also share some of the experiences, sometimes when we are in the situation itself, maybe we may not know how to face certain issues, so we can also speak more about that. And also Vasanthi is also willing to share more about health tips for seniors as well, if you guys are interested. Yeah, and just wanted to share a brief program overview of GenLab. So mainly we offer opportunities for seniors to share their skills and interests. So we have short features where we actually do bite-sized videos of seniors. Sharing circles is what you are actually sitting in for today. And Sandbox is where seniors actually work with a small group of youths on bite-sized social impact projects, where one of them is the upcoming co-creation of Conversations Guide. Yeah, so as we end, we would like to actually get some feedback from you guys. So I'll actually also put the link in the chat box. Appreciate if you could spend about 1 to 2 minutes of your time, as we would like to hear from you on how the session has been today. And in the feedback form, there are also some questions if you like to continue learning from Auntie Vasanthi or sit in for further sharing sessions focused on specific topics, or if you're also keen to work with us to co-create the conversations guide, you may also indicate your interest in the feedback form. All right, so I'll just pause here for a while. You can also scan the QR code or also enter the link. I have popped the link into the chat box as well. Yeah, so appreciate if you could take about 1 to 2 minutes of your time to fill in the feedback form. Yeah, and once again, thank you so much for joining us today on a Sunday morning. I understand you guys may have other plans. We really appreciate your time. And I also like to thank Auntie Vasanthi for taking her time to share on this topic with us.
I also would like to thank for giving me this opportunity to share. I'm very glad to do my sharing. And thanks to all of you who have attended. Hope you all have benefited some points.
All right, and just also wanted to share with the rest of you, we also have an upcoming session which is actually conducted by a certified aromatherapist. Her name is Ruby. And if you are looking for tips on how to self-care during this stressful period or during this COVID pandemic, where maybe most of you are working from home or even doing home-based learning, please join us in this session. So Ruby will be sharing more about how you can handle and manage stress through aromatherapy. So you don't need to bring any essential oils or aromatherapy tools for this session. So this session will be a broad sharing session followed by some interactive activities as well. And this session will be 1.5 hours, slightly longer because of some activities that Ruby has actually planned. So you may either you can scan the QR code over here, or if you're also interested, you can let me know and I can share with you the link directly as well. The session is on 17 November at 7:30 p.m. So if you are interested, please have your dinner earlier before you join us. Yep. All right. Okay, and just also wanted to share, please do follow us on our social media. So we are also on Instagram. You can follow us at GenLabCo, and you're also on Facebook, GenLab Collective. And also if you know of any seniors who have valuable skills and knowledge to share or contribute, please do let us know as well. Yeah, thank you, Elaine. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Wei Jie. Thank you for your interesting questions, which represented most of the youth's voices as well, especially when we go for events now and then. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so much, Eunice, for joining us. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll just go to the feedback form again. So if you guys are done with the feedback form, please feel free to leave. Otherwise, I'll just pause at the feedback form. And if you have any questions to ask me from the GenLab team or also Auntie Vasanthi, you may feel free to stay back and we'll be here for a while. Yeah, if Auntie Vasanthi, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'll be here.
All right, because we realized that some of you have been quite quiet and haven't spoken. So if you'd like to stay back a while and maybe ask some questions, or if you're also interested to find more about this co-creation of the conversations guide, you can also check in with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Okay, so once again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to stay back and let us know. Thank you so much, Pei Fang. Appreciate it. Thank you, Eunice. Would you like to share now or would you like to wait a while longer? Oh, okay, sorry, I just saw your comment probably. So just yeah, sure, no problem at all. Yeah, but noted that we can also focus on how do we facilitate communicating skills, active listening in particular to seniors, and how can we speak with empathy as well. And how do we exercise better empathy with seniors? So we can also cover that more in subsequent sharing sessions. All right, do the rest of you have any other questions or comments? If not, please feel free to leave as we are done for the day, but please feel free and please remember to kindly fill in the feedback form.